All right, welcome back to We Call Bank. This is episode 4 here with just me and Dallas this time. This is probably going to be the regular. We might have a guest every now and then, but this seems like what it's going to be. We didn't really plan on doing one this week, or we did, but we didn't, and I didn't get the topics till literally today. So we're free balling out here. I have no notes or anything. I've just got the topics, and I'm just going to talk like I know what I'm talking about, and I might not, but y'all going to listen anyway. So starting off, we got Celtics. This is a three-way trade. We got Celtics, Grizzlies, and Wizards. So as you know, Chris Paul. Oh, wait, no, this ain't even the Chris Paul one. This is Marcus Smart, Kristaps, Gallinari, Tyus Jones. I was thinking of the Wizards for another reason. But anyways, all right, so Celtics trade Smart to Memphis. Mm-hmm. They get Kristaps, who just opted into like a $36 million deal or something, or I think it's like his last year. So if they keep him after this, they're going to have to give him a contract, I think. And then the Wizards end up with Gallinari, Tyus Jones. And also I think the Celtics got like a first or two first out of that trade somehow. And I think the Wizards might have got a first from somebody. I don't know. I just pretty much wrote down the players. I didn't write down the picks because that's not really what really matters at the moment. But I mean, I think everyone wins here. Gallinari, for us, obviously he tore his ACL or something last year. He was going to be a pretty big piece for the Celtics, I want to say, and that's kind of why they went for Kristaps. They wanted a shooting big. That's kind of what they wanted with Gallinari last year, but he ended up getting injured, so now they're like, okay, let's trade him away and get a shooting big. So they went out and got Kristaps. Grizzlies wanted a defender. Apparently they've wanted Smart for a while, so they finally get their man, wanted Defensive Player of the Year. Do I think he's that good of a defender? Like Defensive Player of the Year? That season, okay, fine. But I don't really know if I don't know. He can guard the point guard, but he's not like a small forward that wins it where he's really beneficial to the team because he can guard 3-4 positions. Smart's going to be able to guard your point guard and your shooting guard, and that's about it. So I don't really know how much valuable it is. And if they're trying to have him and Morant on the court at the same time, I don't know if that's really the way, but the Hawks are doing it with Murray and Young, so I can't be hypocritical and root for the Hawks because they got two guards in the court and then not say that Grizzlies are going to be good with it. I think it's obviously an upgrade, but they do lose Tyus Jones, who a lot of people think is a starting caliber point guard, and I mean I can kind of get behind that. He's not like a crazy good scorer, but he can run the offense. What do you think about it?
Here's what I think. As far as Smart, for the Grizzlies, that's amazing. You lost Dylan Brooks, or didn't really lose him. You just gave him up. Which I mean, I understand with all the stuff he was pulling and everything like that. I think it's also going to help their the jaw suspension for the first 25 games. I think he's definitely going to be in there helping. Having him and then Jaren Jackson in there on the same lineup, definitely going to help defensively. Then you have, Desmond Bane out there shooting for you, and then eventually you'll have Jaw. You'll have a star-studded team. As far as Kristaps, I mean, that was good too. I mean, the Celtics really need something for the front court. I mean, Al Horford, he's not getting any younger.
Yep.
He's going to be retiring soon, definitely soon.
Yeah, that's pretty much the replacement for him.
And he'll be paired, with Blake Griffin, which is also getting old. And but he ain't too old. Kristaps ain't, and I mean he's a good. He was averaging like 20 something.
Yeah.
And he shoots pretty good. That'll definitely space out the floor for him, just like Al did. And I think that'll work out pretty good for Gallinari and Tyus. I mean, the Wizards are just fraught. I mean, this is definitely a rebuilding stage. Tyus, he's definitely going to be starting. I know, you were saying that, most people believe, he's a starting. Well, he's going to prove it. He's going to be a starter. There ain't no doubt about it. He was bench, but, now he got his major role. Gallinari, the type of shooter he is, he's definitely going to help out the team after, the whole injury situation last year.
He might get just cut. Like, they might just cut Gallo. I mean, I don't know, going from 2 playoff teams and then now you're on the Wizards, he probably don't want to be there. I mean, I don't really know, but if he gets dropped, I'll take him back. I really will. because we needed him this year. We really did. I
Well-
wish we had a shooting center, but
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they ain't really got many stars on that team, and I saw something about Kyle Kuzma maybe thinking about leaving. I'm not sure if that's
I
actually
think he
a true
opted
thing.
out of
Yeah,
his last year or whatever.
and so you lose Kyle Kuzma. I mean,
I'll take Kyle.
yeah, I mean, shoot, I mean, Kyle Kuzma ain't a bad player whatsoever. So I mean, they're just in the rebuilding stage now. You could definitely tell it. I mean, they had to get rid of Bill. You know, you don't really have many stars on the team anyways. They're just picking up what they can, trying to make a good system work. And that's just for the Wizards. I mean, do what you got to do, but for the Celtics, it was definitely a good way to go. However, you don't want to give up too many of your players, because I mean, I also seen something of them thinking about, I think it was trading Brogdon to the Clippers, and he was going to be with Paul George, and they were going to trade for, I don't remember who they were going to trade for, but it wasn't someone crazy. But yeah, I mean,
Well, I think now it's just a money thing. Like, if they were going to win, they really needed to win last year. And now that people see, because Brogdon's kind of a starting point guard, really. Really should be, he would be starting on a lot of teams.
mhm.
So, you can only keep these guys for so long before they're going to want their money. And if you're going to keep Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum around, you're just not going to have that kind of money to have starting caliber players on the bench. So, had to get rid of him. Al Horford probably got another year or two in him. Kristaps can kind of fill that role, but I don't know what the new situation is. Like, I don't know if it's you can have two max players, but you can't have three, or there's something they changed it now where there's some rules about how contracts work, and you can't have two max guys and another max guy. There's something in the contract, so these teams are not going to be able to have Curry, Clay, and KD again, I don't think. So they're going to have to move some guys around. But all in all, all sides benefit from it. I think the Celtics probably benefit the most.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis, like I said, Smart's an above average defender. Like, he's a good defender, but he's not going to completely shut down. I mean, Curry, these really good point guards, it's going to take a team defense to take these guys out of the game, not really a player. I mean, he can annoy them. He can pick them up full court. But like I said, he's not that guard four positions. He can guard point guard, shooting guard, but he's not like a Paul George, Kawhi that can lock down four, all the way to power forward. So good for all teams, I would say. Fred VanVleet opts out of his contract with the Raptors. It said that the Raptors are preparing to offer him a ton of money to bring him back. So more than likely he's going to come back for a bag, but it really depends if he wants to win. I mean, he already got a chip with Kawhi, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he probably isn't too hungry. He probably knows, like, he's not going to get a lot of money going to one of these teams that are good, that he can, really contend for a title. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's back with the Raptors, just on a bigger deal. I think it's Siakam on that team, right?
Yeah.
I know we were trying to trade for him before the draft, and there was a little bit of trade talks going around that I can't remember what we were going to have to give up. It was like DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson, Collins might have been in there in like a first or two firsts, which, don't get me wrong, I would like to have Siakam. I think he's a really good player, good defender. Dallas has one of those things every episode, I think. But yeah, I would love to have him, but I mean, I'm fine with getting rid of Hunter. I'm fine with getting rid of Collins. I don't even mind giving up the two firsts. But Jalen Johnson, he's a sleeper. I don't really want to get rid of him. So I would just kind of stick where we're at, see what happens. We drafted a point guard. Kobe Buffkin, I think was his name. He looks, pretty talented. I don't know if he's really that great of a three-point shooter. Didn't see a lot in the highlights that I watched of him, but it kind of makes me think if we don't do that good near the deadline next year, that Murray might be gone. Wouldn't surprise me. Or Trey. I mean, if Trey leaves, I might have to dip. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Murray isn't on the team after the deadline if we're not playing that well. Now, granted, they only played 1 year together, so give them another year, see what they can do. But Murray's extension's coming up, so you're going to have to pay him next year at some point. So like I said, it's probably going to be a go half the season, see how they do together. If it's not going well, ship him out. That's probably what's going to happen. I think Murray's good, but some of the attitude before he came to the team, like him and Paulo getting into it, and I think they're fine now. But I don't know. I thought it was going to be a good piece coming to the team, and then there was a lot of kind of baggage coming with him. So who knows? But what do you think? What do you think about Fred?
I mean, as far as Fred, I mean, he's a heck of a player. He showed that. He's really star-studded whenever he played with Kawhi in that finals. And that whole postseason, he did pretty good. And after that, he just kind of, stayed pretty good. I mean, he didn't, fall off or do anything crazy. He's a good player. He definitely would be a starter on every team, basically. Yeah. But I don't know. I just I can't read his mind. I can't really tell you if I think that he'll go somewhere. Maybe he does want to win another chip. Maybe he just has something in his mind where he thinks he could be the greatest player of all time and just get all these chips. But I mean, if he's just wanting the money, I would just take it from the Raptors. The Raptors have the money for it. They just, I don't know. I think Fred, he's a good player. I think I'd love to have him on the Clippers with PG. Yep. I mean, he's.
Oh yeah, we might have to talk about all the rumors going around about trading Paul George.
Oh yeah, that's crazy too. But I mean, as far as you talking about the Hawks, the only thing I really see as far as trades right now, they're talking about the Mavs are wanting Clint Capella over.
Yeah, they
Collins.
wanted to do that in the draft. I think we were at 15, they were at 10. They ended up trading with the Pacers while it was going on, but they wanted they wanted Capella and our 15 for us to move up to 10. I know. No. Collins, I would have been fine with getting rid of Collins. Like, I think Collins with a change of scenery would, fit well with any team. He rebounds. He's athletic. He can space the floor a little bit. He's not super consistent with a three. I know he had something going on with his fingers. He had them taped up basically every game last season, probably from dunking too hard. But so that might have had something to do with him not shooting as well. But any team could use him. Really good rebounder. I think it's just the fact that we're trying to get rid of him so hard that these teams are like, okay, we're not going to give him anything good because we see what it's doing to y'all, and like, all right, we'll just wait till you cut him or trade him for pennies. So, I mean, I think he's a good player. I wish we could keep him and it would all work out and he would be good, but he's just not shooting the ball well enough right now for us to be able to use him. Now, if you put him on a team that already has a good center, a good shooting center, that way he doesn't have to be knocked down from three, and he can just run around, get rebounds, catch lobs, and then he'd be good. But it just, we're definitely not getting rid of Capella. I mean, we have Onyeka that is pretty good. He's really athletic. He averages more rebounds than Capella, I think, on less minutes. But he's only like 6'8", 6'9". He's kind of like Bam, where he's kind of a shorter center. So if you play Jokic or somebody like that, it's just not going to be good enough. So small ball, he's really, really good, but we wouldn't have anybody. We'd be kind of lost. We'd have to literally shoot lights out to win games because the big centers are going to bully us. But
yeah, I mean, if you did something like that, Clint, you couldn't give up Clint. I mean, y'all have some bench depth, not too crazy, but I mean, y'all have a few good players on the bench as far as guards and forwards. But the thing is like you said, the front court just ain't looking sexy. So just if the thing is you gave up Clint Capella, you would have to ask for like JaVale McGee from the Mavs. I mean, you'd have to ask for something good like that. Collins, he's a good player. I don't see why anybody. I think it's because he signed a pretty decent contract.
Yeah, it's a pretty
Hawks,
big contract,
and they're just not wanting to take that kind of pay. Yep. Picking him, getting through a trade and everything like that. So I don't know. I mean, John Collins, he'll definitely be on another team. One thing I am glad is I know that some people were talking about Trey not wanting to be on the team or Trey maybe going to a different team. I love the fact that he's on the Hawks. I feel like that's a team he needs to stay on. I feel like they just need to, find the right fit, find the right system for him. And heck, I could see him going to the finals. I mean, Trey is a good caliber point guard. He could do whatever he wants whenever he wants. I mean, he ain't going to go up and dunk like LeBron, but he'll score any way you want him to. And I don't know. I just feel like giving up someone like Clint would really jeopardize that team, and I don't even know why the Mavs would think
you
that's a
give
good
up
idea.
Capella or something, and Trey's probably like, what am I doing here? So, I mean, not Capella's good. I think what's good about Capella is he knows how to roll, and his hustle is really what sets him apart from the other big men. Like, okay, he can average 8 to 10 points a game, and Trey could get probably any center 8 to 10 points a game off lobs, just like he does Capella. Which Capella he's good at catching lobs. Like he catches some stuff you're like, I don't know how he caught that. So, I mean, he's definitely skilled, but Trey could get any other big man 10 points a game too off of his passing. So really it's the hustle that I think Capella is why Capella is so good, and he can rotate on defense really well, really good shot blocker. So it's not really the offense, it's just he's the defensive anchor. So you're not really going to find that in any center right now. You can't really draft one because it's going to take him a bit to develop. So you kind of have to keep him. Collins, I don't know. I mean, if they could have got a first for him, I might have just did it. I mean, pull the trigger now, see what happens. Jalen Johnson could probably fill that role for Collins very easily. So get the contract off the books. That way, in the next 2 years, maybe one of these really good players becomes a free agent, and we can, kind of go that direction. But if you don't get Trey another, really good player in another, year or so, I don't know how comfortable he's going to be wanting to stay with the Hawks, but he wants to win, so we got to do something in a hurry. But moving on to this Bradley Beal trade. So we got Bradley Beal for Chris Paul, 6 seconds and 4 firsts. That's a lot of picks. I mean, is it good for both teams? I mean, Bradley Beal's a really good player, don't get me wrong. But trading all those draft assets, you got to win in the next 2 years, or it's like, what did you really do it for? KD's kind of probably got another 2 years in him. Booker's I would say he's got a lot of years left in him, but the hammy's always bothering him, so it's probably going to be one of those stories of when he's on the court, he's really good, but how long is he going to be on the court? So if they win in the next 2 years, I would say it's worth it. If they don't, it's going to be kind of a bleak future for them. So, I mean, good deal for them. Chris Paul, obviously we know that Jordan Poole got traded for Chris Paul. The Warriors and the Wizards did that trade. So, really it was just they traded Bradley Beal for picks, and then picks and Jordan Poole is really what the trade was. So, I mean, Jordan Poole is a good player. Now he gets a chance to have his own team, get double teamed every possession like Curry does. So let's see if he can put the money where his mouth is, because he talks a lot, and now he doesn't have superstars around him to help him and draw that attention away from him. So we'll see if he's really what he's made of in the next season. What do you think about the trades?
Whew, I got a lot of strong feelings about him. One, I hate I hate KD. I just do. He's annoying. But besides that, I just feel like, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree, but I feel like instead of all those picks, and everybody knows how I feel about Ayton, I just feel like they should have traded Chris Paul and Ayton and still got Bradley Beal out of it. And, they would have took that. I mean, at the end of the day, instead of those picks, you're getting a center that can do stuff right now. You just know he's playing lazy for no reason. And, at least that helps your team while it is rebuilding. Yeah. And it's just like, for me,
I mean, they got getting the draft picks. I mean, they might be able to turn that around in a season or two and get a good player for trading all those picks that they're going to have. So
yeah, they could.
Both ways.
I mean, but that's just kind of like a hoping kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like you said, they kind of need to win now, because that's KD's whole thing right now, and everybody sees that. He wants to win right now. That's why he's going to all these teams he is, because he wants to win.
Yeah.
And you kind of get rid of KD, you kind of, you know what I mean? It's kind of everything was for nothing, because Devin Booker ain't going to be able to do it all by himself. You seen that before they got KD.
Yeah, it'll be like
they got Chris Paul,
McCollum and Dame together. Like Bill and Booker they'll do good, but you got to have that big man, or that you just got to have another piece. 2 guards is just hard to win with.
Yeah, and I I don't know. For me, I think the Suns are going to be they're going to be a crazy team. They are going to be a crazy team. They're you're just jeopardizing your future a little bit with giving all those picks away for Bradley Beal. But I mean, Bradley Beal is a great star. He is a great star. So I mean, hopefully they win a championship. Something comes good out of this. But as far as Jordan Poole, I mean, Golden State, what are you doing, man?
That was like straight up. What are we doing?
Like I could never even take that trade. You're risking everything. You just threw it all on the table for what? For Chris Paul? I mean, it's because here's what you got to think about. One, what's going to happen with the starting lineup? I mean, are we going to put Chris Paul on the bench or?
Yeah. Gotta be.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. You have to because you still got Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Looney, and Draymond. And then that's the other problem. What's going to happen with Draymond now that he sees, Jordan's out the question?
That's what I was talking to Austin about. I'm like, okay, Draymond opts out. They're probably like, oh, crap, we got to do something. Mm-hmm. Maybe they already talked about it before, but they might be like, oh, no, we got to do something. So they trade Poole. They probably – people could see that they will probably want to Draymond back, and they're like, okay, we don't have to give up much to get Poole off their hands. But I feel like some other team would have given him more than that. I mean,
oh yeah,
maybe they just wanted Chris Paul that bad. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But hold on, I lost my train of thought.
Well, I just feel like it's just like Draymond. Maybe my idea is maybe he specifically wanted Chris Paul because he's good friends with LeBron. LeBron's good friends with Chris Paul. Maybe they all just had a talk. Maybe something happened like that. Maybe Chris Paul was like, "Dang, I just want a ring." Maybe Draymond was like, "Hey, dang, I just want some more players on the court whenever Curry's not there. Clay's freaking getting hurt every 10 seconds, being a crybaby." I mean, it's just What are you thinking? Jordan Poole's your future. He is. I mean, yeah, he had a lousy playoff, experience this last playoff. So what? I mean, he's a young player. Kobe did too. I mean, it's just like, what are we doing?
I mean, it's the same reason they traded Wiseman. They didn't want to give him time to develop because they wanted to win now. Same thing with Poole. Like, here's what I was saying is they might have, Draymond opts out, and then they're like, okay, we want Draymond back. It's Curry and them, they want Draymond back. We're not going to get rid of Curry. We're not going to get rid of Clay. So it's like, what do we do here? So we get rid of Poole. That way Draymond feels like he can come back. So that's probably what happened. Draymond opts out. They might have had an agreement like, if y'all get rid of Poole, if y'all trade Poole off, I'll come back. So that's probably kind of what happened. But I think I got a notification about Draymond. Green may be dropping hints he's hoping for a $100 million deal.
Oh, my God. What?
Okay, so Stephen A. This is Stephen A. saying, I think Draymond is easily worth $100 million, and Draymond shared the story. That's what happened.
I mean, Draymond is a key. Here's the problem. Draymond is a key piece to that Warriors team. He is a key piece to the whole entire organization. He's it ain't like he's an amazing, crazy player. It's just what all he does, and you don't even have to notice it. It ain't like he could score 0 points, but he won you the game. Like
if he's anchoring the defense.
Yeah,
he's making literally. If you see them without Draymond running offense and with Draymond running offense, he lets them move around. He tells them how to move around. He's setting screens. He's setting off balls. He's doing dribble handoffs. He helps the offense a lot.
He is a great asset to the team. $100 million is insane.
That's a big asset.
You're asking for a lot, Draymond, for a player that ain't putting up stats crazy. Like I said, you don't really need him
without the points.
Yeah, exactly. He does a lot for the team. It's just asking for $100 million. You're gonna have to work on your game, and you're just getting a little old. It's just like it's like you're just you're throwing up crazy, and I understand you value yourself high, and I value you high. It's just you're also, what are the Warriors doing? You know what I mean? Like it's just Curry. It ain't like he's old, but I think he's like 34 or something like that, and it's just like. I understand you're trying to win more championships. That's what everyone's trying to do. But at the end of the day, you also have to worry about your future. You just genuinely do, because if you don't, you're going to have a trash team. That's how all the NBA works. Like for instance, years ago, Nets were the worst team. And then they had the best 3 in the freaking league all on one team just this season. It's just like that's how the NBA goes. If you don't worry about your future, it's going to ruin you. And the Warriors, they had a great run. But to sit here and, get Chris Paul, which, will be amazing coming off the bench, it would kind of be like the Suns. They always will have a star on the court because they'll bench some of their stars, just not bench them in the beginning, but they'll bench them like within a minute or two in the game. Just so that way they have a star at least at one point through every quarter. Or through every single second. And it's just like, for Draymond it just irritates me. Because it's like Jordan Poole was that future. Jordan Poole was that guy that, you needed to build your team around after Curry. Yeah. And, Draymond just needed to get along with Jordan and just deal with whatever happened. And it's just like, he didn't. And you know what? Anybody you're having an argument with, we're sending out of here. And I don't like that. He's just getting old. He's not a star-studded player. He does a lot for the team, but at the end of the day, if you get star-studded players, they're going to do a lot for the team too. You don't have to have Draymond. I mean, eventually the man is going to end up dying. All right, so your team.
We're talking about basketball here. What are we talking about now?
I'm just saying he's going to end up dying. So it ain't like you can have him on your team forever. You see what I'm saying? He eventually will not be on that team no matter what. He could be 99 years old.
Yeah, but if Curry wants him, he's staying. There's nothing to
Curry
talk about.
is getting old too. Jordan Poole was that future, and they ruined it. The Warriors ruined their own. They're never.
Curry's going to go out a Warrior. He's never going to go to another team unless he's just forced, and he'll probably retire at that point. But if Curry wants him, I mean, I'm fine with what they're doing. They ride Curry and Clay into the sunset, and when they retire, then they worry about the future. I mean, it came out when the season ended that they might want to get rid of Clay. So I don't even know. I don't know where to go with that. I mean, I'll take Clay. I mean, saw him this way. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their future is. Like I said, I think they're just gonna go until Curry retires, and then they'll kind of worry about the future. Maybe he's kind of like Kobe, where he's just gonna have a whole young team around him for his last year or so. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're always going to be contenders, but they're getting old, so
yeah, they ain't never going to win a championship again.
They're going to need a spark somewhere.
It's not going to happen.
I mean, I thought they had a real good chance this year with Wiggins coming back, but him missing a lot of that time due to some personal reasons, he wasn't really back in rhythm. But if he was, I mean, they just won it the year before, so I mean, I thought they had another chance, but. Kind of going through Bleacher Report here. Let's see if there's anything. Bronny not a big time at. Anyways, we're not.
Do not ask me anything about the draft. I do not watch college basketball.
I don't either.
I couldn't tell you one. Well, I could tell you the college basketball players just because of the draft. But
yeah, Wembanyama, he went number 1. That's all I know.
They weren't going to give up that Wembanyama.
But
that's out the window.
Yeah, so I mean that's interesting, I guess. I mean,
hold on. Here's what I think. I think one, Chet. I don't think he's going to be anything. All right, and I don't say that a lot about a lot of people, but it's just if you watch that play, LeBron just had a little bit of physicality on him. Not even something crazy. He barely even just. Ooh.
He's gonna have to gain a little weight.
And then Chet just fell down like a crybaby. He was talking before that season, I believe, about he was gonna end up being the best player that season or something. He was saying crazy stuff. And I just don't see him being anything. He's just too skinny, too scrawny. I understand he's tall. I understand he could play. But, I mean, at the end of the day, there are people not in the NBA right now that are tall, skinny, and can play. I mean, it's just that's how it is. Victor, he has a little bit more muscle on him than Chet. He does. And I do see Victor being something. But everybody's, like, saying, oh, if he don't have the heights of KD or heights of all these people, he's a bust. Well, go ahead and call him a bust. He's not going to be as good as KD. He's not going to be as good as any of these people. He's just not. We never really know. Like That's just what I think. That's what I was fixing to say. Yeah, I ain't gonna sit here and say he's not ever going to be. It's just it's hard to see someone because you think of people like Yao that are that tall, and it's just like, yeah.
I mean, he's probably the most. I mean, how he moves, no one's ever that big moves as well as he does.
Oh yeah.
And it's like I was telling Austin. I mean, defensive rebounds. I think he'll be a really good defensive rebounder, but when he's got to really work for the rebound, he's not gonna be able to move these other centers because he's not strong. He's long. He might grab it over them, but these other centers in the league are gonna be able to push him out of the way. Jokic, Embiid, the good centers in the league, they're not gonna move. They're not gonna move. So
nah, they ain't.
yeah, I mean, if it's like a rebounds that are bouncing far, like he's gonna get those because he's long. But the ones that you really need that you got to fight for, he's not gonna get those rebounds. But I mean, offensively,
he's a scorer. He'll be a scorer.
Yeah.
I do believe that. I mean, there ain't many centers. They're only good at defense because they're so big and strong.
yeah,
But this man, he could dribble. He could shoot. He can do whatever he really wants to. I know. I watched a video about him perfecting the one-legged three, and he says it's so much easier, but it's hard to hit in game. Blah blah blah. Bro, yeah. At this point, you're just doing stuff for fun. You're just doing stuff for fun. I think he'll be a scorer. I don't see him. His first year, I would say he's going to average 19
he might
points
average
per
a
game.
lot the first year because they ain't got nobody else.
Oh, yeah, they
But-
don't. Yeah, that's a dog team. He's going to average.
He might average 35. Or
Yeah,
something.
he's going to average. I'm going to say he's going to average 26 per game.
But it is Popovich, so he might dog him.
14 rebounds per game. I know that's high, but I mean,
Yeah, I think
He's tall.
11, 12 rebounds a game, probably anywhere from 18 to 25 points a game. Like he'll be able to take the rebound off the glass and go and push it down the floor. So that's going to be something that's good about him. He can kind of Draymond how Draymond pushes the ball off the floor sometimes. Like he'll be able to get the ball off the court, which is good. But like I said, he's not going to be able to move these guys, so he's going to have to really finesse. He's going to have to fade and do stuff like that because he's just longer, but he's not going to be able to body any of these guys. I mean, if he gets the ball right under the rim, okay, he's going to get a dunk. But I feel like the physicality is going to be a little bit more maybe not. Maybe it's more physical overseas, but, I don't know. I think he's going to have a little bit of a rookie shock of, not doing as good as he thinks he will. I don't know. Maybe he's humble. Maybe he's not. But NFL wise, there's really not much out there. There was some speculation that D Hop and Dalvin Cook might go to the same team together. That kind of fell through. We got Melvin Gordon saying playing running back sucks. The worst position to play in football right now because of the market, which we talked about that last week, and I agree. Mm-hmm. They're just getting used and abused. But I mean, there's not really much to talk about. We got Jamar Chase. He was saying, I think somebody asked him a question about Patrick Mahomes, and he said, who? Or something like he didn't know who Patrick Mahomes was. What did he say? Let's see, Travis Kelce, shout out to Jamar Chase for holding it down for his quarterback, but don't you ever disrespect Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is him. You can't sit there and say that, especially when you yourself have not won a Super Bowl and Patty has. And it's
we get supporting your quarterback, but dogging somebody that beat you, like, come on now.
Dogging somebody that's better than your quarterback, better than your college quarterback, better than any quarterback you've ever even seen other than Tom Brady. And, well, I guess if you watch the NFL, I can't really say that.
Yeah, you can support your quarterback and not act like you don't know who the best quarterback in the NFL is right now. Like, come on now.
Besides Kyler, but yeah.
Yeah, other than that, I'm not really seeing. You had the tight end university going down this week. That's cool.
Yeah, the NFL is a little boring right now. Ain't nothing going on. They ain't got nothing special. Then again, I guess it is. I ain't going to say it's more difficult to have trades because there's so many more people in the NFL than there are at all in the NBA. But it's just like, I don't know. It's just like nobody doing anything in the NFL right now. It's just all basketball kind of stuff. And I mean, we would talk about baseball, but geez Louise, bro. I can't tell you 5 Braves. I can tell you
a lot of Braves. But Braves are playing really good right now. I mean, the pitching is good. Strider went through a little bit of a slump where, like, they were getting hits on him, but he's kind of turned it around. He had a good game. I think they're, as far as their conference or whatever, I'm pretty sure the Braves are leading in wins. I know the Dodgers were close to them about 10 games ago, but they kind of, like, extended the lead. Marlins are playing they're playing okay this year. I mean, they're doing better than they did last year. I don't know. The Braves are playing good. If you don't watch baseball, that's all you need to know. They're playing really good right now. Riley's going through a little bit of slump. He's not playing as good this season, but he'll turn it around, I think. They're probably, if they're not the favorites right now, they probably will be when it starts, or they might have been before the season. They're really good. They got another chance to win another one.
Yeah, all I know is they won a World Series, which is crazy because it feels like every team wins World Series every 3 weeks, and I swear every time, bro, it would be like I just look and I was like, this team won a World Series, and then I'll scroll through and it would be like, oh, this team just won a World Series, and I'll be like, dang, bro, like it feels like those aren't long.
You must
seasons.
be seeing like hockey and something. Baseball is 150 games or something.
Bro,
they play like every day.
It's just baseball to me. It's a fun sport to play, fun sport to play video games on. It's just not to me a fun sport to watch, and it's just complicated. Like for instance, here's one of the things I hate about baseball. All right, now imagine you're at the plate, you make contact with the ball, it goes out into the stands, but it's a foul ball. Okay, but then it's a strike. Why is it a strike? You made contact with it. It ain't your fault that the wind pushed it. You can't do nothing about that.
The wind? What do you mean, brother?
and then it's a strike again if you do it again. And then after that, you could just do it as many times as you want, and it's not a strikeout. But I don't know. It's just
you swung at a bad. All right, here's the thing. Like you swung at a pitch and you didn't hit it. You didn't hit it square. All right, so it fouls off. Right, that counts towards your strikes, but. How do I explain this?
Here's the thing: if you're gonna go by that, then you shouldn't go by if you hit it and it's going to the foul zone that they can catch it where the foul zone ends, and it counts as an out, because that's just
it's your fault for swinging at it though, and it's your fault for not hitting it square.
I mean, at that point, I feel like you shouldn't even play baseball. I mean, it's just either way you're screwed unless you just hit a perfect freaking. A green bean. Yeah, if you don't hit a green,
you hit a green bean.
If you don't hit a green bean, you're out the window. I mean, well, that's the
end of the camera, guys. We can finish it on here, and I'll just black it out. The camera did die. It was at 60%. I thought it would last, but baseball is not. I wouldn't say it's really fun to watch. If you know the players a little bit and your team's good, then it's fun to watch. But if you're watching baseball and your team's bad, that's got to be rough. It's got to be rough. But we'll wrap it up here, guys. I hope you did enjoy the 4th episode of We Call Bank. We'll be back maybe next week. Might just be a solo episode. I don't think Dallas is going to be here, but
no, I ain't gonna be here next week.
We'll see what happens. I'll hold it down, but we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Peace.
Deuces.